And here we are. Good morning, everyone. Good to see you. Paul Tranning going to dive into today's Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. There we go. Let's spit out the words. Welcome, everyone. Good to have you here. John MBA Khan from Pakistan. Joe, what's up? Hello, everyone. This is your Photoshop passport that we're going to be doing, taking you through various features in Photoshop, but around the world. And today we're just going to create a stamp book cover. So, your passport book has a design on it. I figured we'd make our own today. So I think that'll be kind of fun. So, hello, Ron from Hades, Texas. You're probably kidding with the Hades part, but also I wouldn't be surprised. All right, so good morning, Cervantes, and afternoon, good evening, wherever this day may find you. It's a good day. Let's get started, huh? I think you guys can hear me loud and clear and all that good stuff. So yeah, let's get this party started. Let's go ahead and switch over to my screen, shall we? Here we go. Boop. There we are. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. It's day 2, by the way. So you can see right in here, behance.net/challenge/Photoshop. Just go to the challenge tab. If you're in Behance, and if you're joining me elsewhere, I'll post that link too here in a second. All right, so that's the plan. Wait for it. Just connecting all my chats. There we are. All right. Wait, is there snow in the mountains? Colorado? I'm supposed to be going to Steamboat this weekend. So hopefully it's nice there. All right. There we go. Boom. There we are. All right. So everybody has a link. Vector and raster. This is what we're going to focus on today. Mixing crisp vector lines with detailed raster images to create a unique photo composite. So that is the plan. So yeah. Well, that's about it. So what is vector? Vector is going to be lines made up of math. So it's going to scale resolution independent. Raster is a bunch of little pixels, a bunch of little dots that have to be stored. The more little dots, the clearer it's going to be. So that's the short of it. Go right here, get started. Get started with that file. What does that file look like? Well, it's a couple of them. I've actually given you a vector file and a raster file that you could play with. But we're going to play with this raster PSD. Hello, Miriam. And also, thank you everybody for posting the images yesterday. I like how Abdullah, I don't mean to pick on you, but Abdullah did a great job. He did a great job with Devil's Fridge. It's actually Devil's Bridge, but God bless you. I love it. So good. But everybody's doing a really good job. We can see Cheetos. So we'll review these later, by the way, during Jess's segment. And speaking of Jess's segment, we'll jump over and you can see right in here. This is the schedule for today. So you have me for 30 minutes, which is why I'm going to rush through this. I only have 20 minutes left, basically. And Jess doing some drawing and painting on mobile, on an iPad. Andrew's going to do his Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge, video editing this afternoon, XD Daily Creative Challenge. All the creative challenges just kicked off yesterday, so this is a good day to get involved. All right. Oh, is Vector a character in Despicable Me? I did not know that. Random facts. All right, so here we are. Let's go ahead and close that if we can. Minimize it. Open up our file and let's get this party started. Right, I've given you some weird images, right? I don't know why I have this bird. I just think it looks cool, to be honest with you. But we're just gonna have some fun in Photoshop. We have this crow, we have this ocean, we have this cool dramatic sculpture, right? And we're gonna add some raster images to this. Excuse me, some vector images. These we know are raster because as we zoom in, we see all these lovely little dots, okay? Wanna know a shortcut key? If you hold down the Option key, and then click on this thumbnail, it's gonna fit that graphic into view, full screen. So bop, that's how you can bop back out. Bop is a technical term. All right, so let's take a look at the Vector assets right over here. We have a number of tools right in here. I'm going to grab the ellipse for one, and regardless of what tool you have selected, go up to the options bar, and these are your initial settings. Okay, the biggest thing people screw up is they might have this set to path or pixels or something else, but we want it to be an actual shape. Okay. Is there lag in my... I hope there's not lag. Like, it looks like kind of pixelated. I don't know why. Why do I look so pixelated? Everything seems good on this end, nonetheless. Everything's reading out stellar. Yeah, we're having a little bit of a lag, actually. So let's go in here. We have the fill colors that we could pick. What's up, Andrew? Good to see ya. So we have this cayenne color that we can pick, and then we also have strokes that we can pick as well. All right. So stroke is going to be set to nothing, right? But you have these options: no color, solid color, gradients. You can get into patterns. They're all right in here. I can go with a fill and a stroke. That's usually what most people have set up, and I can draw a big circle, right? And now we can see this crisp line like so. And actually what's nice is I could always edit this circle as well. So sorry for any technical issues. Everything's looking good now. All right, so right in here we have this ellipse, right? This is our vector ellipse, and then our raster underneath. So for this particular layer, we can go to our properties panel, and I also get those same settings I had before right here in the properties panel. So I can come in here and say, hey, decide I don't want a fill, right? I can change that to nothing, and I can give it a stroke of white if I want to, and I can increase that stroke size like I'm doing right now. Okay, that's all I'm doing, just having some fun. Cyan, I might be saying it wrong, and I've only been doing this for 25 years, so I've probably been pronouncing it wrong for 25 years. Cyan, I think it's cyan. It's not like cayenne pepper. I apologize. I have coffee sitting right here that I haven't even had yet. But here's our vector line, right? We get those properties. We've changed those properties. And over here, we can play with this layer. It doesn't matter that it's vector. We can give it an outer glow or play with this any way we want, as expected, right? So that's all I'm doing. Same thing with a raster layer. Vector layer works the same, right? Giving this a nice little glow like so, right? So we have this circle, and that's pretty fun to work with, okay? So we could also put this on top of the ocean. There's a couple different ideas I want to work with. I'm just introducing you to the tools, okay? Cayenne, what am I doing? I'm creating a passport photo cover book, but I'm showing you how to just quickly create a circle, right? So we use these basic vector tools, right? But we have other options and a whole panel under window and shapes. So here's a number of shapes that we can actually use. These are all vector. These are all built into Photoshop for us to use, right? Cool. Let's just do a screenshot of this. All right, so we could have some fun with this. We can start to introduce some of these vector elements if we want to. But right in here, I actually have a number of images. You have access to all of these. I've actually just moved them around. Sometimes they might be in folders, so it might be a folder of people, right? I've never really cared much for having a folder of like people, right? I just took them all out of their folders, right? And put them right in this main viewable area. And then I deleted all those various folders. That's what I did. But right in here, we have a number of various graphics that we could use, right? and various places right in here. Places is going to be one as well. We will scroll up. We have plants. And guess what? I can also add to this as well. Okay. Oh, let's take a look. We have planes. We have places right in here. So again, we have an Aztec pyramid that I can drop in. It's going to remember my last settings, right? So I could put that wherever I want. Since it knows my last settings, we're using that teal color, it makes it teal and drops it like so. So I can put a number of these in to just kind of describe different places, right? I'm not holding down the shift key, right? Because by default, at least in my preferences, I have it set up to not distort as I scale it down. Okay, so I'm just dropping on a couple different places. That's not ultimately what I want. Actually, what I want is, let me show you this. Check this out. You ready for this? I'm excited about this. I'm gonna go into shapes. You guys should do this as well. Click on this flyout menu and go down to legacy shapes and more. Okay. So legacy shapes and more. We can easily double the number of vector shapes in here by adding legacy shapes and more. Oh, it's right down here. Oh, there we are. 2019 shapes. So many shapes in here. Legacy default shapes as well. Twirling that down, and you can see all the various symbols that we have, shapes, you get the idea. So load that up, have some fun with it. And Rachel just stumbled upon this accidentally. Well, thank you. I think you stumbled upon a good place. Remember, we're making a passport cover book, right? I've added some places. I'm not crazy about them, right? What I do like is this. I like a couple of these elements. This is what I want to add. I want to add this north, south, east, west. Let's drop that in, right? We're just going to have some fun designing, dropping in this world like so, and then playing with all of these elements. So we'll nest that off to the side, just like that. All right, so now I can start putting these items together. Notice how they're all teal. I'm not crazy about that. Double clicking on it, changing the color. That's all I do. Double click on compass, changing all those colors, right? Where did this color come from? It was from my initial settings. If I want to change those initial settings, it's a matter of going in here to your rectangle tool, for instance, and changing the fill, right? But it knows it's white now, so it's just using that last setting. Anyways, I'm just going to play around. Hopefully you guys don't mind. Let's scale this up. We'll do this north, south, east, west. We'll take this world right here, scale it up, not holding the shift key, right? Because that's an option in there. And then I will get rid of these other elements. So I don't necessarily, they're not doing me any favors really. Maybe I will keep this one. All right, let's move on. Scale that down like so. Start to align this content like this. But let me show you a couple more things. Many more things, actually. Okay, because really what I want to do is I'm moving these independently. I have this world and I have this compass, and I'm trying to move them around. Now that they are in the exact position that I want them to be, I actually want them to be part of one shape. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these two vector shapes, shift selecting both layers, and right down here we want to merge shapes. How's everybody doing? I'm talking a lot, but I'm not having a conversation. I want to have a conversation with you guys. Muriel, good to have you here. Abdullah, Deborah, Sean, everybody, hopefully let's play around. So merge shapes, boom. There it is. It is one compass shape that I can play with. A fun thing that I like to do, by the way, if you want to make something look cool, like this is kind of cool white. Here's another little trick if I was playing around is I would duplicate this ocean layer. Command J to jump it. Okay, so now we have two layers. I would take this layer, put it above the other one. I would flip it vertically, and then let's make it a clipping mask. Why not? Boom. Now we have the two playing together. We have this lovely ocean inside of that, I don't even know if that's an ocean, to be honest with you. It could just be a big lake. Is that better than linking layers? It's totally it's personal preference, because now if I apply a drop shadow or something else, I'm only doing it to one layer. So it makes everything a little bit more efficient knowing I want them to be tied together, okay? Let's do something else. Let's add a number of arrows. Let me show you this. Let's go in here to the line tool. I don't know if many people know this. There's a line tool right in here. And for the line tool, which also is vector based, we can go up to the top, we can check and give it a, 10 pixels, sure. Yeah, let's go 5 pixels, okay? But we have additional settings for our vector tools up here as well. Okay, we have right down here for this flyout menu, I have arrowheads that you can add. Okay, so we can add them at the start or at the end. If I add it at the end, sure enough, when I draw this out, it's going to add that arrowhead in the end, like so. Let's go over here. Let's just make it a white fill and go back in here. And again, just make sure that's set to end, and then we can draw out that arrow. Okay, so let's have some fun with this. You ready for this? I'm going to create a new layer. It's going to be in a folder. It's going to be called arrows. I'm going to have all these fun arrows in here. Let's try maybe just kind of drawing out one right here. We could always change this later. Okay, but let's draw this out. Let's change the color. Okay, so there's one arrow. Now what I'm going to do, I love this tip. I hope you guys are into it. So what real use case this would be used for? Could use pretty much for anything. You could use it for like a brochure, anything print based. I would add this vector just to keep the lines really clean, right? So I can scale this up and down. Yeah, but to your point, I could do the same thing in Illustrator and import images into Illustrator. So anyways, I think Sean knows what I'm gonna do. All right, so I could do a Command T. Command T will allow me to transform it, okay? Just like that. But I want to create a bunch of them around a curve. So I'm going to do Option Command T. Oops. Let's do that again. Yeah, there we go. Option Command T. Now what this does, since I held down the Option key, it allows me to duplicate this graphic. So now I'm going to move it over. Oh, it duplicated it. And then I can like rotate it like so. Okay, it's not going to be perfect the first go at this, but I've just duplicated this. Now what I can do is I can hold down Shift Option Command T. I know it's a lot, and we can start duplicating it. So that's what I'm doing now. Let's go ahead and duplicate it around. Bop, 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 bop. And now we have all these arrows kind of going around the fun little north, south, east, west. And by the way, look what it does. It makes all of these layers, which is not that efficient, right? This is a case where I would select all these layers. That's why I put them in the arrows folder. But if I do a Shift Select on all of those, I can go ahead and come down here to merge shapes. Okay, so keep it vector, just merge them all. And now I have all these lovely arrows that I can change the blend mode of or just do something better with, because right now it needs some work, folks. It does. I get it. I want you guys to have fun with this, by the way. I only have 5 more minutes. This is just one idea, by the way, so I could take this, let's put them in a folder. Let's just do this really fast. Let's have a second one. Let's do this. Let's get the statue. The statue is really awesome. I'm really into the statue. Right, but I can go ahead for the statue and remove background from the statue like so. So let's just have 2 layers. I just want to create some nice depth, to be honest with you. I have these arrows, I have this shape, I'm going to take both those elements and I'm going to put them in between those two layers. I just wanted to do something kind of like that. Make it look kind of cool. The world is your oyster, people. North, south, east, west. Why not? Add some glows to it. Have some fun, right? And know that all I did is I did a remove background on this layer, and it did all my work for me, okay? So that's cool. I just did 2 designs. We have 1, we have 2. We can go for a 3rd. Why not? We're feeling adventurous. I don't know why I have this weird crow in here, but I do. I would love to see somebody put something together. This is, again, this is a cover for a passport book. I can add text to this. It's only day 2 of this Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge, so I won't. But feel free to make this your own. I also gave you this other file. If we go out to vector raster, right? We can open up this Illustrator file, and there's graphics in here. So you can actually create an Illustrator, take these elements, like these graphics right here, copy them, go into Photoshop, paste them like I'm doing now. Watch what happens when I paste it. These are my options. Let's take a breath. All right, Jenny, just so you know, I used in your properties panel, if you're on a raster layer, there is a remove background button, and it's amazing. In fact, I'll do it right now, just for you really fast. For this crow, Command J, right over here, zoop. Here's my layer, here's remove background. Okay, ready for this? Remove background, right? It obviously does that like we want it to. All right, so we're gonna paste this in. Look, you can paste it in as actual pixels. Get rid of all those math lines. I would paste it as a smart object so I can link back to Illustrator and change it if I want. Pasting it in. Here's my weird symbol. I don't know what's going on, right? If I double click on it, I can jump back out and edit this. So what I would maybe do, rotate it, change it in some way. Maybe I'll change it to white. Wait for it, change it to white, saving it, changing the shape. I get it, I could also add an overlay to this, or like do a color overlay over this, but there's this vector smart object, okay? You guys like this? We could have some fun with this. Again, this is like the passport to Hogwarts or something like that. That's what this is like. Looks like a passport stamp book for Hogwarts or something. But come in here. Another thing I want to point out, this is what people make this mistake a lot. So we have this like weird symbol, right? And what if I just wanted an outline of this shape? And I don't want it filled in, right? Well, what I can do is I can double click to give this a layer style. And sure enough, I want to give this a lovely stroke of white. Okay, so you can't even see it, by the way. If I change the color, you will be able to. Right, I just gave it a red stroke, okay? Or a white stroke. And then just go right over here. We have this opacity, and then we have this fill. On a raster layer, these do the same thing, but on a vector layer, I can go to the fill and say, hey, you know what? Take that fill all the way down to 0. And now we have our outline. Okay? Now I have my lovely outline. The stroke is showing, but it's not giving me the fill, which is cool, right? So again, kind of into that. It's kind of fun. You get the idea. Yeah, I don't know. This is just a weird passport book that I'm making, but it is the Passport Hogwarts. Or some other place like that. There you go. Why not? Let's drop that in. Let's put this up in front. I know I haven't gotten into text yet, but when it comes to text, text is technically vector-based because there's math behind the scenes, right? And now you have 3 designs, and that's my time, folks. Hopefully you guys appreciate these. Make sure you, when you might need to save for web is what I will do. And then just take the size down. Make sure it's under 8 megabits. But just save that out to your desktop and put that in Discord, because Jess Telmanic's gonna be reviewing these with me in the next segment. Passport book. There you go. Okay, so we'll review these in the next segment. Guys, I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out with me. We have a wonderful day planned, and ooh, I'm using the Milka font. I love that font. It's so awesome. It's just so graphic. It's not for everybody. It's not for all use cases, but I love how graphic it is. So thanks for watching. We created our fun little stamp book, if you will. Passport to Valhalla. All right. Thanks, everybody. We have Jess up next, and I will leave you with the schedule. So we'll be right back in a sec.